Hey guys, welcome to the Geekbox, and I just thought I'd do a quick video as we are just one day away now finally from the release of Fallout 76. So I thought I'd share just a few thoughts, a few opinions that I had after playing on the beta. Obviously I will say I didn't have a lot of time on the beta, as most of the betas for here in Britain were in the early hours of the morning, and with the type of job I work as well, obviously it was very difficult for me to get on for those long sessions. But I did manage to get myself up to, I believe, level 12 at the end of it. I managed to do a nice bit of exploring and found some of the new elements in the game. So I managed to get a good insight at least to what I think so far is the game's going to be. Now obviously it's a game of two halves. There's things that they've taken away from Fallout for Fallout 76 that we're going to be missing from the other games. Obviously I expected this with it being an online multiplayer game. And the one thing I was quite unsure about is how the multiplayer aspect in the game was actually going to work. Now, the experience I've had so far with actually dealing with other players has actually been quite good. So I've only had a few occasions where I've actually heard other players on the game, but I've actually had the experience a few times taking part in events, etc., where other players have come in and gotten involved in what I'm doing, and we've had a coordinated effort. Obviously, another thing that's come up is just communicating with other players, and I've done a small amount of trading with them as well. I like the aspect in itself in regards to you're dealing with real people, you can be realistic with things, people will dive in, and there's a certain thing as well about knowing that another player that's actually helping you is another live person that's seen you're in trouble and come to the help. I've also had the pleasure myself of actually jumping in and helping other people struggling in battles. And it's just cool to have that context of you're helping each other survive in the wasteland, which is what the whole of 76 is about. Now, I've also had people that have attacked me and tried to instigate PvP. I had a group of people actually attack me together, and I chose not to instigate an attack back because at the end of the day I would have just got my ass kicked anyway. And I understand this is going to be part of the game itself. Now, I know there are people that have been upset about the fact that there is going to be this element with PvP, with people attacking them, etc. But at the end of the day, I like the fact that you're going to get that mixture of players. Do you get raiders, etc. in the original Fallout games, and now you've got real people taking on these roles. You've also got people taking on the elements of different factions, i.e. like Brotherhood of Steel. You've got people taking on elements of the Enclave, etc. And I think it's going to be cool to see where this actually goes in regards to people facing off against each other. Now, obviously, another thing that caught my eye straight away when I started the game, for those that didn't see my live stream, the graphics caught me straight off, because it seems like they've created a more crisp, detailed element to the graphics, and then in other areas they've actually lowered the graphics slightly. I'd have to believe this is just to make the game run easier. It's a very large map, it's an online server. There's going to be places where you're going to have to bring it down a little bit to make it work within the system, especially for people that may struggle more with PCs that aren't as powerful as they need, and like systems like lagging on the consoles. For me though, I think the graphics are fine. Areas that actually look absolutely gorgeous and really do the game justice in how they look. And for me, I just think visually it's very appealing to look over. I think the only thing I've seen so far that actually was a bit strange for me to watch was the nuclear detonation. Now, as I was mentioning, I've seen the nuke go off. They did one where they launched a nuke right at the end of one of the betas. I don't know if it's just coincidence or it just happened to be that the developers decided to set that up so people could actually look at it. It did look a little weird graphic wise watching it. It was almost like they hadn't just thought through properly how it would look having that much motion on the screen at once. But overall it was still a great experience to watch. Definitely something nice and different than what you've seen in previous Fallout games with the nuclear. I mean, Megaton's probably still going to have the best nuclear look out of all the Fallout games, but obviously that's also a pre-rendered cutting that they did for the mission itself. Obviously another aspect of the game is the fact that it is a survival game. Now, I've actually found I'm not a big fan of survival games that work with the whole hunger, the whole thirst thing. Definitely that sort of thing's annoyed me in the past. But for Fallout it actually works very well. Now, I find that personally with it as well, I've struggled maintaining my thirst and my hunger bars at times, but it only captures AP, so it doesn't actually cripple you in the game like some of these games have done in the past. But you definitely feel the need to survive. I've probably found more times I've had to hide from a battle. I was trying to sneak away from super mutants and things like that early on in the beta, just simply because I wasn't ready to take them on. In other Fallout games I would have just charged in head first and not even worried about it. The other thing as well is that when you start off you have to craft your weapons. Now obviously I found the leveling system actually was irritating at first, but I was starting to understand it more and more as I go into the game. Now I had weapons I couldn't unlock until I was level 10, but I also feel it's all, you start off with pipe pistols etc, then you can move on to like a 10mm pistol and magnum, things like that, basic firearms. Now this makes more sense in the fact that as you get more experience in the wasteland and you spend more time surviving, you will learn to adapt things more often. Another aspect to this as well is something like lockpicking. I've come across a whole load of locks so far, and I didn't have enough bobby pins for half of them because I'm struggling to find bobby pins. See, in other Fallout games you've normally got so many bobby pins that they should be pouring out your back pocket and your sides as well. So it really does make you think twice about what decisions you make and what's worth actually attempting, as well as picking your battles like I said, and just general places to explore. I think it's added a whole new element to the game itself in the fact that you really do have to think a lot more about everything that you want to do, and I've actually really enjoyed that. I thought taking all the NPCs out and making it a lot more free roam would be something that would damage it for me, but personally it's actually made it a lot better for me. Now obviously another thing there is the fact that there are no NPCs. The only things you can interact with are robots, terminals and notices. Missions are handed out in this style, and this is something I know a lot of people have had issues with. Now I actually understand the need to take out the NPCs. NPCs could have been put into the game. I found a few times, I even go into a terminal at the beginning for the responders, that a few people already using the terminals. Now I don't think it would work in the fact that if you've got an active NPC, you've got two things. You've got one, do you want to stand in a queue with 20 other people just trying to talk to this one NPC so you can get your mission etc? And two, what happens if somebody kills the NPC? Now can you imagine going to Megaton in Fallout 3 for example and finding somebody's already walked in there and shot Lucas Sims in the head? Obviously it will completely change the face of the game, but they have to allow it as well, because if they killed him in their game and not in yours, then that wouldn't mean that you had a live active landscape. So for me, I actually fully understand why they've taken them out, and I do like the system of if you want more missions you need to explore what's around you. You can't just find random people that will just give you missions, you have to look yourself. Obviously the downside to this though is, for example, a mission where you get told to find a missing person, you already know they're dead. You can't find the person responsible because they're dead. Because in short, if it's not a player on the server, they're dead. Obviously this takes some of the excitement that comes out of some of these missions of whether you're going to find the person or not, and having the multiple choice to look around, and that is something that is damaging for the game as a whole. But I think a lot of people have come into this game, and the problem is they focus purely on what is it going to be compared to Fallout 4, Fallout 3, New Vegas, etc. People I think have to understand this game. It's a brand new style of Fallout game. It's a brand new setup for a Fallout game. It's an online game. It's designed to be open. It's designed to be created by the players themselves in the game. And for me, I've actually really enjoyed that aspect of it, and the fact there's a new twist. And I'll also keep in the back of my mind that I know Fallout 5 is coming as well, so I will get my single player fix when that comes out, and this is a great way to spend the time in between. Obviously a lot of the things they've added in as well, like microtransactions and that outside, are not pay to win. That's something I've been very happy about since the beginning. You can go on and you can go to the atomic shop and buy lots of different things that look good. You can get things for your camp, but there's nothing in there that actually is designed purely to help you win. Now obviously we don't want it to go the same way EA do, where they then start charging you to make your life easier on everything, but the cosmetic status of it at the moment works well for me. I think Bethesda have made the right choices in how they've gone about it. Outside of that really, there's just so many things to find in this game. I've can't wait to find so many different things. I've found 2-part suits of power armor so far. I've found the fun of having to craft all my own armor and things instead of just finding stuff all over the place. And I've got a few bits of armor that I can't use because I'm not high enough level, so I've got to look forward to leveling up so I can use these new items. And there's just a lot of things like that that have been added into this. Well, I'm going to be live streaming Fallout when I collect it. I'm going to the midnight release tonight at Game to collect it myself, and I'm just looking forward to really getting on, getting into the game and sharing everything as well that I find there. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and stay up to date with all the content here. And I'd love to know what you guys think so far of Fallout. Which side do you fall on? Do you think it's a great new adventure for Fallout, or do you think they've damaged the Fallout franchise doing this? Either way, I love the fact that you guys follow me and you support me so much. I've been relaunching this channel as of late, so I really want to say, just for myself from the heart, all your support has meant the world to me in getting back to YouTube. And Fallout's the perfect time for me to come back to it as well, because as you know that follow me, I absolutely love Fallout. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay updated to keep on top of the live streams, and feel free to join me. Obviously, if you look up the Geekbox 666, that's my Xbox tag there. Feel free to add me if you want, and maybe we'll have a game together sometime out there in the wasteland. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see you out there.